Hey everyone, this is Reverend Dr. Katie, and it is really good to be back with all of you. I've been just a little bit absent lately with travel, and I work in a church, and this is one of the busiest times of the year. So it's really good to join you today. And one of the reasons I'm really glad to join you today is because it is the winter solstice, and so it is one of my favorite days of the year. So those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, I promise I will get you next year. In fact, that's one of my goals, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. So the solstice, if this is kind of new to you to think about observing the solstice, as well as equinoxes, as well as the points between the solstices and the equinoxes, let me tell you, people have been doing this for millennia, and people have been observing these astronomical days for much longer than our material record can even record. And we have ancient buildings, and so we know people were observing this before they were building the buildings, that show how ancient people knew about these astronomical events. So one of the most well-known examples of this is in Newgrange in Ireland. This is one of the oldest buildings in the world. And I got to visit it in 2010, not on a solstice, unfortunately, but maybe one year. And in this building, for a few days before and a few days after the solstice, and of course on the solstice, there's a special chamber in the doorway that lets in the sun's light at sunrise, and then it illuminates the interior chamber with this warm golden light. And the rest of the year, that interior chamber is dark. And so it's a really amazing feature. And the hallway that the sunlight has to go down is curved. And so the ancient people knew exactly like what day would let in the sunshine and illuminate this interior building. And we believe it was probably a building with religious significance, but this is part of pre-Christian Ireland, and we don't have any written records of it. So the building was actually rediscovered in 1699. Buildings all over the world serve similar purposes. Ireland is not the only place, so you can Google that. So really, I just want to point out that it's very human to observe these longest days. And of course, for Christians, this coincides with the very end of Advent and our getting ready for the coming of Christ and bringing love and hope into the world. So tonight is the longest night of the year. So this is the perfect time for gathering your own energy, and it's time to look inward to see what you see inside your own soul. So this is a great time of year to let go of old energy patterns, of things that are not working for you anymore, and to set some gentle goals or maybe some radical goals for the next year of your life and what is coming. So what do you want the next 365 days to be? So let's think about it. In 1 year, that number of days will have passed, whether or not you attend to your own desires and whether or not you attend to how God is directing you in your life or not. So it's my hope, of course, that we do attend to our interior soul so that God can do the most work in us. So we have this really unfortunate misconception in our world that darkness is bad and light is good, but this is just silly, and actually it's a little bit racist as well. So I want to let go of that paradigm. We need the longest night of the year because this winter night can envelop us and teach us how to look at our own interior lives. This is not a matter of lights coming and that's better than darkness or anything like that. This is an opportunity for us to sit still and sit with ourselves and sit with all that is holy in us. Now, I know for a lot of you, this is terrifying because we don't pause to do this kind of thing that often. And believe me, it was not that long ago that I was right there with you. But now, actually, I love taking the time to explore that interior side of myself and to check in with my spirit, check in with my soul, check in with God, and see what's coming next. And so I'm hoping that you'll join me just for the next few minutes and we can take an inward journey. If you want to get pen, paper, journal, this is a good time to go and get it. So it will take just a minute or two to kind of ground down and settle in. So if you want to grab pen and paper, you can. And if you're watching this later, you can just pause the video and then come back and join us. Okay, so now that you are all settled, let me invite yourself. You can close your eyes, get comfortable in your chair, to take just a moment and clear yourself and to ground yourself down. So put your feet flat on the floor, take a really nice, deep, cleansing breath, or 2 or 3. Let the day fade away. Whatever it is that's on your mind can wait just for a few minutes. So let's explore just a little bit. What in your life might you be ready to let go of? Before we can answer that, we have to seek it out and name it for ourselves. Let me give you just a few ideas, and if one of these resonates with you, then you know that's yours to let go of, and maybe it's something else that I won't name here. Are you ready to let go of fear? Or maybe guilt? Or maybe shame? Or maybe a habit that doesn't serve you anymore? Or perhaps the tendency to judge ourselves and judge our bodies that God created for us and not loving them. So pause just for a moment and consider what God might be calling you to let go of, because this is the night of the year that's most energetically full for you to let go of that and start something new. So take just 30 seconds and consider that for yourself. Okay, so whatever that is, and even if you don't have a solid name for it, but you can feel whatever that energy is, then that's probably good enough. So I'm going to ask you if you can release that from your own life. And this is a big Christian value because Jesus did not come to earth for us to walk around and be ashamed and to be in fear. That's a human thing to do, but actually as Christians, we're called to let those go as much as possible and move into our lives of freedom. That's what I'm inviting you to do right now. So now that you've had the opportunity to do that, and you can release that as many times as you need to tonight and for the next year. It doesn't have to be only one time, but let the energy of this night help you in that journey. So now let's turn and see what might be in store for us. What is it that you want to cultivate in your life this year? And again, I'm going to name a few things that might resonate with you. So if they do, take note. And I'll give you some silence also to let whatever is welling up in your own life well up. So what is it that you want to gain? Could it be more clarity about your life? Would you like to change jobs? Is there a relationship in your life that you would like to improve? Would you want more abundance in your life? However that abundance comes. So take about 30 seconds and name for yourself what God might be kind of pricking you in your own life to work on, to achieve, to gain. Okay, so now that you've had a chance to name that for yourself, and again, you might gain some more clarity on this in the next day or two now that you've started this process, and that's just fine. But I'd like you to take whatever it is that you just thought of and double it. Double it. Whatever the vision is that you have for your new clarity, for a new job, for an improved relationship, for a life of abundance, whatever it is you named, double that vision, double how great you feel about that. Now that you've had the chance to double it, I want you to triple it and see how that feels. So this is us thinking and dreaming really big. There's no reason to do this small. So now that you've secured this energy of what you're ready to release, that you don't need, and cultivate that you're ready to gain, you have the rest of the night to let it flower up in you, including when you're asleep. So this is just a matter of setting your own intention and letting those things release, and then letting those things start to flower and unfurl themselves in our own lives. In 4 days, we are celebrating our Savior's birth. And again, Jesus was born to free you, not to shackle you. And in this freedom, you can attend to your own gifts. So if you've had your eyes closed, and now is the time to open them and just take a moment with your journal, if you haven't already, and write down how you're feeling right now and start to give some name to what you're releasing and what you're going to cultivate in this year. And I kind of think of it like this: it's sometimes hard to cultivate new things if we don't let old things go, because otherwise they may occupy our souls. So really we want to free our souls to do our soul's work, to do exactly the work that God calls us to do here on this earth. When I did this meditation earlier today for myself, one of my goals that I had is to expand and to have this message reach even more people. But I have to tell you that immediately feels awkward, and it's even hard to say it on this video, because I think, well, who am I? Like, is my goal to become a bigger group? But really, that's just my ego talking, because I know that this isn't about me. It's about the message. And it's about the message that you are a wildly loved creation of God. And there's so many spiritual practices and communities of support that can help us on our earthly journey. And that's partly what I am here to do. And I would love to assist you with that if that's something that interests you. So just please private message me so that we can talk more. One of my goals is to have our Facebook group expand to at least 3,000 people in the next 365 days. So by Winter Solstice 2018, I know that can be a reality. And I want to reach as many of you individually as I can, so that I can be of the deepest service to you to get that message out there to as many people as possible. And that's what I'm here to do. And that includes my Southern Hemisphere friends. So your meditations are coming. So I promise in the future, beginning for summer solstice, we'll be able to do a summer solstice for the Northern Hemisphere, and then another winter solstice for the Southern Hemisphere, so that everyone can benefit from all of that kind of flip-flopped energy. So I promise those meditations are coming. So it's been really, really good to be here with you. I'm really happy to be back and interacting with you live in this way. Again, private message me if there's something particular that you need some assistance with, so we can see if we would be a good fit. Otherwise, I'll just see you in the group. I'll see you online. This will be posted in all of the usual places. And I will be checking in with you all for sure as we get closer and closer to Christmas. And I'll be checking in with you on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day too. So great to see you. In the comments, post what it is that you're letting go of, what it is that you might be cultivating, because the community would like to know so that we can support you. And I see a couple people saying hi. It's good to see you all too. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.